And a very pleasant Tuesday evening to everyone. Welcome to Ridgecrest Talk. I'm Tom Hick. Cris Branson joins us. Cris has been on before, and Cris is almost an expert when it comes to the youth activities. His son's very involved. He has 3 boys that play in just about every sport imaginable and then some. And Cris is here tonight. We're going to talk first about baseball. And his sons are right now playing All-Star IWV. Tell us about how that's going. What have you have left? I know you had a tough last weekend, but you still, I think, have some games. What's going on?
Yeah, actually, we're done. Just Corbin played, my 10-year-old, and he played in the Pinto division and had a big 0 for 3 weekend. So, short season this year. We had some two good games, one blowout. But unfortunately, we did not get to go to the next weekend.
So you've only get the one weekend, okay?
Yep, they took 4 out of 6 teams, and we played on Sunday to try to make it to that semifinal round, and didn't get there.
Didn't get there, huh? Was it pitching that you faced that was very, very good, or just they could hit the ball? What was mainly the problem?
Well, so we played Sunday, the same team we played for our second game on Saturday, which was Lancaster. Had that first inning that, you know, we always seem to have one inning that gets us, but the first inning we gave up 4. Ended up, I think we were down 7-1 at one time, and in the top of the 6th, which is the last inning, we were down 1 with a runner on and popped it up. Actually, Corbin was stealing home to try to tie the game.
Oh my.
But the guy at the plate had 2 strikes, and he had to swing, and he popped it up to the pitcher, and we lost 8-7. So we got the 6 seed. They got the 3 seed. Showed up Sunday, 9 o'clock game. Started off 1-2-3. Couldn't get anything started, and then bottom of the first, again, kind of a shaky inning with just a play here and a play there, and then a couple walks, kind of a combination. We were down 3, and we had a good defensive inning, came back out, had the middle of the lineup, hit the ball well, got to the top of the lineup again, put up 3 runs, had a tie ball game for 2 more innings. I think it was the top of the 4th. We felt like we'd really broken it open and scored 4 runs. We were up 7-4. Then I think we held them for 2 more innings. And then we had that one inning again that seems to get us. It's a great group of kids. Really enjoyed coaching them. We just, it seemed like we had a hard time finding our identity out there when we needed it. A pop-up ball between second and short, and they both call it, and the next thing you know, it drops.
Oh boy.
And then
that's tough.
Yeah, and then a couple walks, and then a couple big hits, and the next thing you know, we were down 7-4. Come back up for the last inning, and had 1 out, and 8 and 9 get a hit. Now we got second and third, down by 4, and Corbin up to bat. Actually, it was first and third, and Corbin was up to bat. Guy steals second, throw down, shortstop cuts it off, throws it home. The guy at third, I kind of wish Vic would have just physically grabbed him and not ever let him get past, but, because that run means nothing. And they made a great play, threw him out at home.
Wow.
And the game was over.
Oh, my.
And our season was over, too.
Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay, well, there is a chance that some of the guys will get together and head over to the Tahoe area.
Yep.
And now that's in the end of July or upcoming, or when does that begin?
Last week of July, and they're planning on playing weekend after next and the weekend after that, so that they get 2 weekends right before they head off to that tournament.
Okay, where would they get to play against and who, and how would that happen?
I think they have a one-day just want to play ball. It's a group of guys that have a kind of a league set up down in Fontana. They play Sundays, and then they'll play a hardcore tournament down in Rolling Heights area the weekend after that, which will be some good competition. Southern California has lots of baseball teams.
Right, they sure do. Where's Corbin playing on the field, your son?
So, for IWV, he played shortstop and pitched. But if he goes and plays with the Dogs, he'll, hopefully earn a spot at second and possibly play some outfield. I know they picked up a guy from Bishop that's pretty good, probably their most consistent infielder, and he's playing second. So I think it'll come down to who's hitting the best.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hope that you can go and also help out as you have before. And then football right around the corner. I know that, your kids have been involved in that. We talked a little bit last time, you and I, off camera, about trying to, get all of your kids placed on teams. And how is that working out right now for you, hopefully?
Still on the waiting list. The kids were undecided. And once they finally said, Dad, I want to play, called the coach, and he said, got you on a waiting list. It doesn't look very promising. He said, show up to camp, and hopefully, not hopefully, but usually one or two kids will drop off, and hopefully we'll get to sneak in there and play. Still working on the twins to try to convince them to play, but they're just so wrapped up in basketball right now.
Okay. Well, sure, and they need the twins, actually, and both of the twins played on the JV IWV team last year, and the varsity team last year was very, very good. They only lost 2 games to Eastside, and this year they're again going to be gunning for the championship. That bigger team's done very well, and it's really fed the high school some, because the high school freshman football team last year lost 1 game but went undefeated in the Mojave River League. So there's going to be, I think, a lot of excitement this year for Todd Mather. But I want to talk more about, youth basketball some. And in our last minute here then, as far as Tahoe would go, how do they seed that? Is it by how you did in the All-Stars, or where does that end up?
So the Tahoe tournament is a hardcore baseball league, which is based out of LA, and I think covers, most of California. But they like to host their, annual tournament up in Tahoe, which is, one of the best places probably in the country. And so they host it up there. They have a lot of baseball fields, and I know the number 1 seed gets a free entry, and that's based on points and how many tournaments they play in throughout the year. So there's a team called the Corona Angels who were the number 1 seed last year.
Okay, hold that thought. We come back, we'll talk about that. We'll be back after this timeout. This is KZGN Ridgecrest Talk. And we're back. This is Ridgecrest Talk. If you just tuned in, Cris Branson, I'm Tom Heck. Our theme, as always, on Tuesday is sports, athletics, both at the schools and the community. Cris, his son's very involved, and he's involved as a coach with a lot of our community sports and also some of the school sports, too. But let's talk, now you were finishing your thought about, let's go back to your son's team in Lake Tahoe, and then let's talk about the pony team, the older kids, and what's going on right now and today as we speak.
Yeah, so when they get to go down to Tahoe, they should play quite a few good teams from Southern California and maybe a couple teams from Northern California, but it seems like the best teams are right down there in LA. But yeah, this weekend the Pinto team Mustang, our team, didn't get to do too well, but did get a chance to catch the Pony guys, which is the 13 and 14-year-olds, and watched an incredible game. Do you mind if I tell you about that one?
Absolutely.
So they were up 9-8. I guess they had started off the first inning with a very small strike zone and gave up 7 runs. So they'd gone down 7-0. When I walked over, they had actually climbed back into the lead off of a 2-run shot from Bryson Hertz, and I think the score was 9-8. Stoner was pitching 2 back-to-back home runs. They give up a 1-run lead. They're down 4. Next inning, bottom of the 6th, base hit, a double, another double. Just like that, we got a tie ball game. So now we go into the top of the 7th. We get 2 outs. And Evan Hernandez is pitching, hits a guy right on the elbow. I mean, fastball. Next guy catches him again on the elbow.
Oh, boy.
And so now we got 2 on, 2 outs, walks a guy, bases loaded, and hung in there, came in with a great 2-strike pitch, curveball, got the guy swinging, got out of the inning, tie game, and we had bottom of the 7th, so this is the last inning, semifinals. Winner of this game gets number 1 seed for the bracket play on Sunday. And I think it was Hertz on base at second, and Hernandez had a great at-bat going, was fouling off a couple pitches, and the next thing you know, he hangs a curveball that Evan just smokes to left field. And I think that ball was still climbing as it got out of the park.
Wow.
And so he had a walk-off 2-run shot to give him the 1 seed.
Wow. My goodness.
So
then they have to play against Quartz Hill.
So then actually that gave them the 1 seed, so they got a bye on Sunday and got to play Lancaster Sunday afternoon, beat them 20-3.
Oh, my.
And which put them in the championship game, which they'll face Quartz Hill tonight at 5 o'clock in Bakersfield against Quartz Hill, the same team they had the walk-off.
Okay, what kind of pitching? Now, what's the rule for pitching? Can the guys that pitched this weekend go tonight?
Well, it'll depend. I'm pretty sure Sergio Hernandez, Evan's dad, had that all figured out. But I believe in Pony they get quite a few more innings than, say, the Mustang division like our guys. If we pitch 3 in a day, that's the max. If they pitch 4, they get a 40-hour rest. I'm assuming for Pony, they wouldn't have been able to pitch more than, say, 4 innings or 5 innings. But you usually can space that out in Pony.
Okay.
So I doubt they had. I'm sure they'll start Evan Hernandez tonight, or maybe Brooks Scott, who had a tough first inning and got pulled early. I'm sure he's dying to get back in there.
Okay. I wonder if Dad's there. I know his dad, Justice, the coach at Saracoso, was up in the Sacramento area and working a clinic up there, so hopefully he'll get back for that to see Brooks, who's quite a football player also. In fact, as good a baseball player he is, he might even be a better football player, and just very, very well-rounded athlete. 8th grader, I believe he's 14, and he's a big cog in the wheel. So let's say they beat Quartz Hill, then what happens?
So yeah, if they beat Quartz Hill tonight, they'll be district champions, and they will advance to the regional tournament, which means they'll skip sectionals, which will be held. They actually gave Pony off the 4th of July weekend, so Bakersfield will host the sectionals, and then Pony, assuming they'll win, which I have a good thought they will advance to regionals, which could be, I'm sure it's out, but there's a couple different regional brackets, and I'm not exactly sure where that'll be. Could be Camarillo, Newberry Park area. Could be Bakersfield. They have a really nice complex down there.
Now, if they lost the game, they'd be a runner-up, correct? Would they go into that sectional then, or the regional?
Yeah, only the champion gets to bypass the sectionals, so they would play that week of the 12th, 11-12, in the sectionals.
So either way, there'll be a tomorrow then.
Yep,
So,
yep,
wow.
they're on for sure. And
Wow.
Shetland and Pinto Division both hosted the districts last week. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, here at Ridgecrest we hosted a all-star tournament, and we had the Pinto guys, 7 and 8-year-olds, playing in the championship against Santa Rosa Elite, and that was a 3-3 game in the 4th inning, and then Santa Rosa, which is a travel club team,
Right.
put up 5 or 6 and locked the door on them. But those guys got to advance, so they played this past weekend down in Camarillo. I don't think they won a game. And then Shetland also was the 1 seed after Saturday and got to play Bakersfield in the semifinal. It was a great game to watch. It was 5 and 6-year-olds, and believe it or not, our IWV Shetland guys would rip these balls to the outfield, and they had one of these guys from Bakersfield catching everything in left center, just running things down. And it seemed like every ball we hit hard, they caught, and every ball they hit was just out of our reach. And they ended up beating us by 4 or 5 runs. But I think if you play that game 5 more times, you get both teams winning just
Now,
as
is
big.
that T-ball, the 5
So
to 6?
it's actually this. It's a pitching machine. It's kind of spring loaded, so they put their foot down and they pull back this lever and it throws the ball forward, which I guess is a big advantage to host a tournament for Shetland because we get to use our tee, which we're used to, and we get, supposedly we're real dialed in on it, which showed the way they hit the ball. I know Bachman, a good friend of mine, he has a little boy named Colby who was just hitting line drives off the fence.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool to watch.
Wow.
A lot of good guys, a lot of good little talent down there in that little group.
Wow. Didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had 5-year-olds playing. And are most of those kids probably 6?
They've actually this year started a 4-year-old. They have two divisions now for Shetland where they have the 4-year-old league and then the 5-6.
Okay, we're going to take our second break. When we come back, more from Cris. We'll talk a little bit about club basketball also and some more baseball. This is KZGN Tuesday night, Ridgecrest Talk. And we're back. We welcome you. If you just tuned in, Ridgecrest Talk, Tuesday night. I'm Tom Hick. Cris Branson, kind of a legend in community sports with his 3 kids and his coaching. His dad also involved with the youth. And Cris, we were talking baseball, youth baseball, and I didn't realize that the 4-year-olds actually had a little division in the 5- and 6-year-olds. And so then the league below the top league, what do they call that one? The second level.
The Pinto, 7- and 8-year-old Pinto guys.
Okay.
Pinto.
Okay. And the 13 and 14s, they call that what?
Pony.
Pony.
And actually, I heard they're going to start Palomino baseball, which is 16, 17-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
And I think Justice Scott, baseball coach, I think he's got a lot to do with it. He's the VP of the Pony division and just kind of looking forward and wanting to give those guys something to play that, the older guys, that little break in high school time to some more games.
Okay. Well, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about club basketball. I know your boys play that. What kind of travel and how much longer are they going to play?
We got a 1-day tournament in Porterville on Sunday, and then we're going to start back up the league down in Santa Clarita, which will run from end of July to say into school year, I'm assuming. So it'll ride out the summer, and I think they got a couple more tournaments scheduled to play down south.
What are the age groups on that one?
Right now, our travel basketball club has a 14 and under team and a 13 and under team, and the Twins play on that 13 and under league.
How many kids on a team too?
I think the 13-year-olds have about 10 guys, and I would guess 14 has about 10 guys as well.
Okay. Now, are any of the 14-year-olds playing on the high school JV team coming in?
They have to be. There's quite a few guys that are, pretty talented that'll be freshmen next year. So I'm assuming they're juggling both, but I haven't got to check in with them too much with baseball. This last month and a half we've been playing quite a bit of baseball and had to give that a break.
Well, this past weekend up at Saracosa, the annual high school boys tournament, we had some very good games in 2 divisions, the A division, the higher division, and the B division. And in the B division, the Burroughs High School JV team ended up coming back and defeating a team from Las Vegas. And they had quite a few kids on that team. And Coach Cris Bachman, able to really get a look at them a little bit, so to say. And I say a little bit because they've just really been practicing. They don't play very many games, hardly at all in the summertime. And it's more of a brief, maybe month or so where they'll do stuff. And he had quite a few kids out. And the problem is now they don't have the freshman level team with the boys at the high school, which is awful tough. And that means you have to really load up your JV team. And it could also mean, unless you could come up with like a taxi team or a third team where they get a few games here or there, you know, a lot of kids wouldn't get the opportunity to play that, you know, and you and I know that they can develop after their freshman year. So that's kind of the one setback of the Mojave River League. Everything else, really, I think that was a great move for, you know, for Burroughs going into that Mojave River League. But that's, you know, it's sad that, you know, that there is no freshman boys basketball in that league. Other leagues still have it. The Desert Sky, where Burroughs played before, still has
no talk of
3 teams.
possibly getting that.
No, I think it's a money thing amongst the league is what it sounds like. I was talking to their athletic director, Robert Campbell, last night, and you know, it just doesn't look too good for another team for the boys, which is unfortunate because the numbers would definitely support it and back it up. So then now let's talk a little bit about the club. Your thoughts on that? Is it a lot of travel for you every other weekend, or what are the benefits, do you think, of a summer league?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. The cost is very reasonable. The kids get 2 practices in the Kermagee, which is a very nice facility, and then we head out of town, you know, once every other week down to Santa Clarita or in that general area, which is a 2-hour drive, and get a little shopping done and get to watch the boys play basketball. So I think it's a pretty good little deal.
Okay. And then this fall, you know, it'll almost be turning into winter by the time the junior high season rolls around, but I know you're going to be coaching the 8th grade boys over at Monroe, and talk about that. And I know you had most of those kids as 7th graders on your 7th grade team, so hopefully it'll carry over, correct?
Yeah, so we have a good core group of guys that'll be with us next year. I haven't heard of anybody leaving, so I got high hopes for that team. Very excited that the twins and Beecroft and Celestine are all playing travel basketball. So they're getting to play several games down in LA and staying in shape, you know, exercising a lot. And then the other travel basketball team in town, the Heat, I might have just mixed that up. Our kids play for the Heat, and Mike Longmire runs the Cyclones team, and they got another couple starters that are on that team. So when 8th grade rolls around, we'll have 5 starters that have been playing basketball for a year straight with great competition. So we should be very good next year.
Wow. Okay. Now, are most of those kids just basketball players, or do a lot of them do other things?
Yeah, so we have Trayvon, who's just a basketball player, Grant Martin, just a basketball player, and Evan Hansen, who will be on the 7th grade team again this year, plays primarily basketball. And then, you know, Beecroft and the twins, they try to play everything, and Celestine tries to play everything. So, yeah.
I'm glad, and I like kids at that age. That's the one drawback I think at clubs sometimes. I hate to see a 7th or 8th grader just locked into one thing. That's just me personally. But, well, that's our time for tonight. Cris, appreciate it again. We'll have you on. I know we will in the near future. And for Cris, I'm Tom Heck, bidding you a pleasant good evening. Thanks for watching. This has been Ridgecrest Talk right here on KZGN.